All right, video game discussion. I want to talk about Disneyland Adventures, which is a Kinect exclusive title on Xbox 360. And there's actually a lot of background to this that I have to explain why I bought it, why I'm talking about it. But um, most people who know me know I'm a really big fan of Disney's parks. I've only been to Disneyland itself a couple times, but I used to go to Disney World every year as a kid, so I really know Disney World inside and out. And Disneyland is basically Magic Kingdom at Disney World with a few changes. But so I've just always been a huge fan, and as far back it was December 2008 on my blog I wrote about an idea for a game I had, which would be a Disney World simulator. Basically, you could go to Disney World without having to go on a plane and spend thousands of dollars. You could do it from your living room and do it on your TV. I wrote this blog post in December 2008. And it's sad because I wrote it on the IGN blogs, which a year or so ago they converted to my IGN. And they tried to move all the old blogs over, and it didn't go over so well. Like, every post seems to still be there, but you would only get part of the post. But if you want proof that I actually wrote this, I mean, Google my pitch for a Disney World simulator, and the top result will be my blog about it. And when you click on it, though, you only get the first couple paragraphs of my idea, and it just abruptly ends. And it seems really stupid, but I had this idea. I thought it was a great idea for a game, and we'll go into details about it later when I'm comparing it to what we actually got. But um, I mean, imagine my joy when this E3 they announced this game, Disneyland Adventures, which was basically my idea. It was my idea was Disney World, and I was just gonna call the game Disney World. Uh, I still think that would be a better setting for this because there's just more stuff. But it was basically my idea, but it was Disneyland Park in California. California, did I say that right? Anyways, so like when I heard about this, I was super excited. I didn't have a Connect, but I was like, man, this might be the game that'll get me to get the Connect, and it did. I bought a Connect to play Disneyland Adventures. I went a little crazy over Black Friday, and there's a Connect. I'm staring at it right now. I have it. I got it for $70 at GameStop, refurbished. It wasn't new, but it's like new. It was refurbished by Microsoft. It's one of their deals. And I bought Disneyland Adventures, and I gotta say, the Kinect is interesting. It's cool tech. I've always been interested in it, but I don't see myself using it that much. And sadly, I don't. I'm kind of really disappointed with Disneyland Adventures because it gets so close to getting it right, and it actually is really close. Like if you came out with some interesting DLC for it, it could be very close to what I want it to be. But what are the odds of there being DLC for what is essentially a game aimed totally at kids? But the problem with Disneyland Adventures, there's several problems, but the big one, the thing that really sucks, the attention to detail is so perfect, and that's why I want it out of the game. If you're walking into the park, and it's free roam on Connect, you get to walk around and do whatever you want. If you're walking into the park and like you're going under a little tunnel, like underneath the train station, and you're like, oh, I remember they had these like cool, like classic posters that like showing off the attractions. You look, the same exact ones are there where you would expect them to be. Every little thing on Main Street, like from the fire station to the Penny Arcade to what is it, the cinema. That's all. It's all there. Now you can't really interact with it as much as you would like, but like they have all these little details right. I heard there's even hidden Mickeys where there's supposed to be hidden Mickeys, which I'll have to go investigate. But and like the ambient sounds and like the music and stuff that you'll hear in the different areas, it's down to the littlest detail. I'm like, wow, this is great. The first like 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm in love. This is everything I ever wanted. Well, almost, except for one thing. Um, but then comes the disappointment of when you go on the actual rides. And the rides, instead of just being able to go on the rides and have fun and experience being at the park and riding the ride, they turn it into these motion control mini games, which largely suck really bad. I think I've played one so far that I kind of liked, which was Thunder Mountain. You are on some train tracks and you're on a mine cart while like there's this runaway train coming after you, and you're like going like this with the mine cart and then like reaching out for coins and shit as you go along, and it's fun enough. But they're all variations on that where you're just moving along a track and doing stupid shit. And just some of them are like atrocious. Like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is it's like a minor tragedy. Like Pirates, one of the best rides at Disneyland and Disney World. Here, it's turned into you in a rowboat rolling down a river, and it's just terrible. You're like rowing, and you got to turn and then turn, and then try to row at the same time to go forward. And all it is also, once again, is collecting coins and avoiding obstacles. Every single one of these things that I've played so far is collecting coins or avoiding obstacles, and avoiding obstacles. That's all it is. So they're all variations of the same thing. And that would be fine to have them in there as an option. My idea for Disney World game had mini games in there as an option to give you something to do when you get bored of just experiencing the park. But here, that's all you get. Like, I mean, yeah, you get to experience the park, but you don't get to experience the rides. You get to go on these like interpretations of the rides, and most of them, from what I've played so far, are really bad interpretations of the ride. Like I said, I like Thunder Mountain a little bit, but I'd rather just ride Thunder Mountain and like see everything that I know is on the ride reproduced. That's a huge, huge miss. And I, my idea for the game was you could experience the park the way it really is, with really every little detail in there, and go on the rides. And I remember writing like it would be like Animal Crossing meets GTA, because it's not really goal oriented, but you're in this big, huge open world, and I wanted it to use like the GTA 4 engine. I even proposed saying Rockstar would be great at making this type of game because they have a really good attention to detail, and that's what Disney is about too, attention to detail. But that was my essential idea. But I also said, well, each of the rides could have mini games associated with them too that you could play. But my idea for the mini games were infinitely better than what you get here. Um, for example, I said on the Haunted Mansion, you could ride the Haunted Mansion, which is a blast, or you could go through it and you could play a mini game that's kind of like Pokemon Snap, where you're trying to catch pictures of all the different ghosts. I don't know about you, that to me sounds fun. It sounds more fun than floating down like a corridor and then moving your body around to try to connect coins and avoid stuff. It's just my idea. I came up with this myself. Is more compelling than what a team of designers came up with. I think part of the problem is they decided this had to be a Kinect game when there's no reason it has to be a Kinect game. Why would you limit your audience that way? It doesn't make sense to me. I think if this was a multi-platform game, like you put on Wii, PS3, 360, sure, it would suck on the Wii, but I think the game would be a pretty big hit. I think it's going to be a relative hit on the Kinect because there's not a lot on the Kinect, and it's a good game for kids for what it is. But they just tried to make this Kinect type game for something that could be a lot better than just that. So that really disappoints me. They could fix it by adding DLC where you just get to ride the rides and like patch that in, and That would make it so much better. And another thing that would make it better, and another one of the things I don't like about the game, is the Kinect controls. Because you're free roaming and stuff, but in order to get around the park, the way they figured out how to do this is you hold your arm forward and you're moving it around like this, and it's acting as like an analog stick. You know, if I go point forward, I'm gonna go forward. I turn left, I'm gonna turn left, or go a little bit left. If I want to stop and turn around, I kind of like bring my arm really close like this, and it'll like rotate me like that. And it works okay. It's not too great, but it works okay. But the problem is, one, I have to stand up the entire time I'm playing this game, which is mostly just leisurely walking around. So I'm just have to stand there in my living room like I'm like going Heil Hitler. And your arm gets tired. If you're walking from one end of the park to the other, you're going like this the whole time. Try holding your arm up like this for 10 minutes. It gets really tiring. There's two huge problems with the game. It didn't have to be on Kinect. And why the hell not at least include what an option to just ride the rides for what they are? I don't know about you. I know most people won't even give a fuck about this at all. But if you are in a Disneyland or you got this game, don't you think my idea sounds better? You could experience the park in its full glory, and then if you want to, there's mini games and there's other shit to do. And why does it need to be a Kinect game? It doesn't fucking make sense. And anything on here you could do with a standard controller, much better. Walking around the park, that would be so much better. But the stupid, every fucking ride is just you moving yourself around trying to avoid shit. You could do that with a stick too. It would be even more boring, but you could do it. So yeah, that's really disappointing to me. I'm not really sad that I bought the Kinect. I mean, I do get to go kind of experience the park whenever I want, and I'm sure there'll be other games. I tried a Dance Central demo. I thought that was a lot of fun. And I might actually get like an exercise game somewhere in there because I could definitely, use it. But I'm a little upset with the whole Disneyland Adventures thing. I really hope they come out with some DLC that fixes it. And I hope that next time, if there is a next time, they make it multi-platform. They make it not, motion control only. And they do the better area, which is Disney World, because you could have Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, MGM / Hollywood Studios, all that, the water parks. You could have, dude, you could take the monorail around. Imagine being able to ride the monorail and go visit, like, stop off at the Polynesian Resort and just wander around and, like, look at the resort and go buy specific stuff at the gift shops and stuff there. It seems like such a no-brainer. I'm surprised it took them this long to like come up with the game in the first place. I was glad that they finally took my idea and did it, but it just seems so easy to make it right, and it's like it's frustrating because Disneyland Adventures comes so close to getting what would make this game cool, and it fails in like one of the major areas, which are the rides, and the controls. Like, it's not that the Kinect controls don't work; it's just they're tiring and for no reason. So, I'm just gonna end it on that. I'm sure most people don't even give a fuck about this at all. They're like, you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about Disneyland Adventures for? Because I care, damn it. I'm a fan. All right, deal with it. That's my thoughts on it. I'll go back to playing that and a little more Zelda, which, by the way, Zelda's pissing me off. I keep writing a blog post about it, about how much it's pissing me off and how much the critics pissed me off about it. But I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but if I do, I'll probably let you know. If you got any recommendations for Kinect games, let me know. Let me know what you think is a good exercise game for it too. Or should I just get Dance Central and that'll be my exercise? Anyways, thanks for watching my stupid video about Disneyland Adventures and Kinect. Later, guys.